Hey Reflections! So, today was really an interesting day, and yesterday was super interesting as well. I've been working with my map team and a book called Maps by Michelle Smallwright, and it's all about getting in tune with nature and working with nature spirits and working with your higher self, and it's just been so amazing. And you could call them whatever you like, nature spirits, you could call them aliens, you could call them angels, you could call them whatever you want. Whatever it is, it's obviously a force that is there, and it's there to help humanity, and it's there to help you, and there's always just help. And yesterday in my map coning, I saw so many visions, and today I kind of wanted to talk about that and just third eye visions. They first went from hypnagogic hallucinations to full-on third eye visions, which I could access when I'm in deep state of meditation, where I kind of just turn off, like Timothy Leary says, and like that phrase makes so much more sense, and before it really didn't, because I just didn't understand it. But now I kind of understand it. You have to literally turn off your brain in order to see these third eye visions. And it was kind of just like images just like flying by, and just amazing things in my third eye when I would just reach these states of non-thought, almost bordering like a sleep state. It was just amazing. And for about an hour, I was just seeing a lot of these just really awesome images and geometry. And in my third eye visions, I saw my crystal. And apparently the nature spirits wanted me to use my crystal as a pendulum to just, keep from making mistakes, or to try to save myself some headache. Yesterday I had clairaudient tones. I also want to talk about that. I usually hear clairaudient tones either in my left ear or my right ear. And yesterday I was going to do something that was just kind of falling back into my old habits, and right as I was going to do it, I heard a clairaudient tone in my left ear, and then I thought, well, I should use my crystal that they wanted me to use. And they, basically just, if you ask your crystal yes and no questions, it will answer you. And usually no means this way and yes means that way. So I just consulted my team after hearing the tone, and I didn't know this, I looked this up after, but a lot of clairvoyant people actually tell you to use pendulums and crystals in order to contact the nature spirit or whatever around you, and or the ancestors, whatever you want to call them, and it will actually fine-tune your intuition and your clairvoyance. So I'm kind of working on that, and that's a really good tip in order to just try to understand what they're trying to tell you, because if I'm doing something right, there's a clairaudient tone, or something that I need to pay attention to, there's a clairaudient tone on the right. If I'm doing something not so good, it will be on the left. And at first I didn't know how to understand what they were telling me, but after I started using this as a pendulum, perfect. So I guess that's something that, they wanted me to convey, not only to myself, but to my reflections. And another thing that happened during my map session was I kind of asked to have more conscious people in my life, my everyday life, and I just wanted to get a little bit more social again. And, before my awakening, after my first DMT trip, And of course, there were stages to it. The first time I'd done DMT, of course, I was slightly awakened, but the more I had done psychedelics, the more conscious and the more my third eye opened and the weirder I got. So I was your quintessential New York party girl. I had a great job. I had, hundreds of friends. I was always out in nightclubs, not necessarily doing the greatest thing for my body. But I took DMT and then all of a sudden I couldn't hang out with all the people that I used to. And it kind of sucked because it puts you in a very lonely state. But then once you're able to reconnect with like-minded individuals, then your circle completely changes. And you are just clearing out the space for people or reflections that are just like you. And so I asked my MAP team, because you could ask them for anything, and I'm going to get the Soilless Gardens book as well that she wrote. But I decided to ask my MAP team for help, and I've connected with so many amazing reflections online, and I'm so thankful for that. But I kind of just wanted to connect with reflections in my everyday life as well. And today I woke up feeling awesome. I took my Ormus, I took my all the stuff that I usually take, and I go to Whole Foods and I'm just getting some kale because my stuff in the garden hasn't grown yet. So I go to Whole Foods, and as I'm on my way, and this is crazy, as I'm on my way, I think to myself, I'm going to meet somebody that's just like me. I'm going to meet a reflection. And it was just this really weird thought that came to my mind. And I'm buying my, my grapes, and I'm buying my kale, and I'm just, just paying for this stuff. And I look outside and it's just pouring rain. So I didn't really know what to do. So I just kind of went upstairs, and that's why my hair is wet. I went upstairs because, I had to wait for the rain to, it was literally pouring rain. And then I see somebody that's wearing a Nebula shirt, a Galaxy shirt. And it looks exactly like my Galaxy pants that I wear, same colors, everything. And I see them kind of look at me. I think it's because of my crystals that I was wearing. And I just automatically think, oh my God. I actually saw the events happen as they were happening. And I realized I had to take the initiative, and I had to go up to them and say, hey, I really love your shirt. And then we started a conversation, and as we were having a conversation, I saw the Eye of Horus and a pyramid tattooed on his hands. Another hand was star tetrahedron tattoo, and then he had tattoos on his palms, and I was just like, oh crap. I'm this is happening. This is actually holy crap, you ask your MAP team for something and bam, within 12 hours, it's there. And it was actually so funny because he said, I had a feeling that I was going to meet somebody just like me today. And this was before I said anything about working with nature spirits, and before I said anything. And I said, holy crap. I literally, as soon as I entered Whole Foods, I had the exact same thought, and we just were we were both in shock. And we connected, and like a child, literally an 8-year-old, I asked him, do you want to be friends? And he was just like, yes. And we exchanged information, and it was so cool because, it's really hard to find conscious beings in New York. And the first thing after we were talking about where to get psychedelic clothing, you know, we were talking about DMT and ayahuasca and how he went to Peru to do ayahuasca. And he said to me, he's like, did you meet the mother or the mothership? And I was just like, oh my God, we're the same person. So yeah, things have been going really, really good. I can't complain. I mean, wow. And also I've been like really, really blissful, like all the time. And especially after my energy work in my martial arts class, it's so amazing. I mean, it really is. I really feel a difference when I don't do Tai Chi and Kung Fu and the days that I do. So it's just, if you are using ormus and like medicinal mushrooms and like shilajit and stuff like that, I really highly encourage you to do some form of energy work, and Tai Chi really works well for me. I'm actually going to do a video soon, and it's just going to be like the basic moves of Tai Chi, and I'm just going to do a series of just like different Tai Chi moves that you could use to work with the energy all around you and within you. So anyway, reflections, I'm having a really amazing time, and it's just, things are opening up. And I went to sleep actually reading The Archaic Revival, the Terence McKenna book. And it's so funny because then I started having dreams about, you know, like YouTube, and like dreams about like all of these ideas on what I should talk about and about Terence McKenna's book and stuff like that. So I've just been like in extreme bliss state, man. It's been really awesome. And if you guys are also experiencing, you know, third eye visions, I would actually recommend for you to go into that space of no thought if you want to do it any time of the day, because I could do that at nighttime and I could also do that like in the middle of the day. So that's a good way of trying to see with your third eye, is just go into that no thought, like complete no thought. When you have absolutely no thoughts in your mind and you're almost at that lucid state, that's when you're going to start having third eye visions. And also, if you're clairaudient and you want to develop your clairvoyance, use pendulums and crystals, and that will help develop that. Anyway, reflections, I hope you're having an awesome, awesome, awesome day.